Welcome back, sports fans. The World Series kicked off this week. Daniel Jones stumbled his way to a 1-6 record for his Giants Thursday night, and the Pats look to get back on track against the Niners this weekend. Strap those butts in those chairs because this week's episode starts right now.
Hey guys, Lucky here from the Boston Celtics, and you're about to watch the Suffolk Sports Report.
Oh, that's a catch. Tatum drives down and throws it down. Pressure was saved by Rez on his belly. Way back it carries, and that ball is gone.
Games 1 and 2 of the World Series took place this week with both the Rays and the Dodgers getting the W. Kershaw looked dominant in Game 1, going 6 innings deep and only allowing 2 hits with 1 earned run. Former Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts also went off both on the field and off. Betts was able to accomplish a milestone Tuesday night, and that was giving free tacos to the American people. Thank you, Mookie. This was the second time that he's accomplished the feat, as he was the first player to steal a base in both the 2018 World Series and now 2020's. But aside from that, Mookie was also trending all over social media with memes galore. All this going on, however, didn't faze those Rays. They were flapping all over the place in Game 2 as the bats came alive thanks to 2 home runs by Rays second baseman Brandon Lowe. A pivotal Game 3 will be played later tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles came from behind to beat the lowly New York Giants last night. After a pivotal drop by Giants tight end Evan Ingram, Carson Wentz took the Eagles down the field with under 2 minutes to go and threaded the needle on a wheel route to running back Boston Scott. Here's what Carson Wentz had to say after the game.
This was a huge one for us. Obviously not the start to the season we were looking for, but we know we got the NFC East is wide open, and we know we got a lot of divisional games coming up, so this was a big one for us. It was an ugly game, and we didn't we left a lot of points out there, a lot of plays, but to stay in it and keep believing, keep fighting, and to pull it out, I'm proud of these guys.
We also saw Giants quarterback Daniel Jones fall down with a wide open field ahead of him. In a visual representation of the NFC East this year, the Giants now drop to 1-6 and almost, in quotations, out of the playoff picture. You never know with how bad this frickin' division is, okay? All right, Di, who's on your fantasy radar this week?
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Welcome back to another week of fantasy. Why be a king when you can be a god? That's right, King Henry has gone into god mode. He's become the judge, jury, and executioner. Let's look at his last 3 victims: the Vikings, the Bills, and poor Josh Norman, who was stiff-armed into oblivion, and the Texans. Henry's 200-yard game against the Texans marked Henry's 3rd consecutive season with a 200-yard game, which is insane to think about. It's also the first time that's ever happened in the NFL, so no biggie there. Let's add 2 catches for 52 yards with that. Yes, Henry is almost a non-factor in the pass-catching department, but his rushing production and touchdowns more than make up for those flaws. However, he may have a down week in a tough matchup against the Steelers and their stingy defense that has balled up most rushing attacks. Let's move on to some of my waiver wire suggestions for the week. Did you need a waiver wire pickup? I might just have the option for you in J.D. McKissic from the Washington football team. Yes, that team in that division is a complete mess. You can't trust anyone in that division, okay? But Antonio Gibson has been the lead back there, but McKissic has been cutting into Gibson's carries, and he's actually outsnapped Gibson in week 6 and is a much bigger factor in the passing game. He's someone you should watch out for and how he progresses, and hopefully he can contribute to your team. That's all from me for this week in fantasy. Back to you, Josh.
Thanks for that, Di. Great job as always. Now I'm going to send it over to our very own JD Conti for this week's Conti Countdown to Kickoff.
Thanks, Josh, and welcome back to this week's rendition of Conti Countdown to Kickoff. So where do I even start this week? Can I even call what we saw on Sunday, Patriots football? Well, yeah, you obviously can, but it sure didn't look like a Bill Belichick team. The Patriots had only practiced in person twice in the 14 days before the game, and it showed. The Patriots fell to the Broncos 18-12, falling just short of a fourth quarter comeback against the team whose only prior win came against the winless New York Jets. The one part of the Patriots that we should be proud of is the defense. They didn't allow a single touchdown. Despite the Broncos' offense not being one of the better ones in the league, allowing 0 touchdowns is impressive against anyone. Their red zone defense was incredible, which is why the Broncos' points came solely from field goals. The only reason the Patriots had a chance to come back in this game was because of their defense, which had interceptions on back-to-back fourth-quarter drives, which gave Cam Newton and the offense a chance to win the game. Even if Newton and the offense came through, the Patriots just did not deserve to win this game. They scored a mere 3 points in the first half, and Newton did not look like himself. He threw 2 interceptions and got sacked 4 times, as he held on to the ball when he shouldn't have, and he threw it when he should have kept it. I'll cut Cam some slack for the O-line that had never practiced together due to COVID and injuries, but he'll need to be better this week in order to beat the reigning NFC champion 49ers, led by former Patriots quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. The 49ers are an unimpressive 3-3, but don't let that fool you. The running game has been one of the strongest in the league, despite rampant injuries, with lead back Raheem Mostert averaging 75 yards a game. They also have perhaps the best tight end in the league, the ever-present George Kittle. Garoppolo also missed a few weeks due to injury, so cut him a little slack. Despite superstar Nick Bosa being out for the year with an ACL injury, their defense has been pretty consistent, allowing 21 points a game and giving up 212 yards in the air, with a secondary led by all-pro corner Richard Sherman. Hopefully, a full week of practice will show us the Patriots and Cam Newton we all know and love. The Pats currently sit at 2-3, the first time they've had a losing record in October since 2002. I was 2 years old the last time the Pats had a losing record in October. Think about that. Guess I'm just spoiled. This game's a must-win for New England. There's no way around it. They currently sit at 3rd in the AFC East, behind the Bills and the Dolphins. I'm not that concerned yet, but if we lose this one after a full week of practice, it might be time to hit that panic button. That's all from me this week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, JD. That's all we got for you guys this week. Be sure to tune in to all the sports going on, and we'll see you all very soon.